Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Some Dumb American, and with us shortly will be Scribe. But in the meantime, say hi, Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
So I'm
Can you guys hear
back.
me okay?
Yeah, I can hear
I'm
you.
leaned back, so if you can't hear me, let me know and I'll move closer to my mic.
You sound good to me, but yeah, let us know, guys. So I'm back. I heard you guys had a good couple of nights. Um, Everything would go okay?
Yeah, excuse me, I'm so sorry. That's I'm professional. Yeah, Weibo joined us the first night, and then it was just me and Scribe the next, and then Lady Monkey joined us for the Saturday stream as my guest for the week.
Good, good. I'm glad everything went okay in my absence. Yeah, hi guys. I missed you guys too. Um, so yeah, I guess we've got some news to go through. I didn't pull anything up, but
I'm sure there's news. Let's see what's going on in the world. I have no idea. Hang on. Let me bring up. Sorry, guys, my computer was updating before we went live here, and everything I had up because Scribbles told us he might be later have problems getting here tonight. I'd pulled stuff up, but I lost it all.
uh-oh. Um, well, there was the whole thing with, did you guys talk about the Keurig thing? Did that happen today or yesterday?
I think it happened. I know it's happened within the last couple of days, but we didn't stream yesterday, so it's not something we've talked about yet.
All right, so we can talk about that. I can talk about that off the top of my head. Um, so Sean Hannity said some stuff that people got upset with because, everybody's raping people, I guess. Essentially, there's some remarks that he made that were taken, you could argue they were out of context, and people got upset, and so Keurig announced that they were pulling their support from the show and not going to advertise, and then people started smashing their fucking Keurigs like a bunch of idiots, and now Keurig is advertising again, long story short.
Oh, are they advertising again?
Yep. Yeah.
Way to stand by your principles, guys. Oh, I don't understand why people would break their own shit. You already own it. It's not like that's costing Keurig anything. Don't buy a new one, fine, but
well, that's just it. Now you have to go buy a new one.
Yeah.
Because now you can't make coffee.
Yeah. I did see a tweet about this that really annoyed me. Somebody said they don't know how Republicans are going to get their coffee. Coffee was around before Starbucks and Keurig. I just want to throw that out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's not the thing. You can get a coffee maker, but just smashing your own Keurig, guys, really? That shit's expensive.
Weibo, do you honestly not know what a Keurig is?
How do you not know what a Keurig is? It's like the most popular coffee maker on the market right now.
And they only sometimes catch on fire.
Oh, really?
They had a problem with one version of it. I don't know that it caught on fire. I just know it was a problem.
More recent reports that like Keurig is having issues with like people with mold and mildew buildup in the bottom of the tank. And I'm just like, okay, if your dumbass doesn't wash something that gets wet all the time, no shit, there's mold and mildew buildup.
That goes for Cooter too.
And that goes for like your fucking shower and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you have to wash stuff. And we're like, there's something wrong with Keurig. I'm like, that's not a flaw with Keurig. That's a flaw with you being stupid. That's fucking dumb. I'm sorry, that just upset me. Yeah, that's all I had though. And that was the...
Well, we have news about Moore.
About what? Sorry, it cut out.
Roy Moore?
That's the senator, right? The guy running for senator.
He's running for the Senate, yeah.
Yeah, this is the guy that Sean Hannity made the remarks about, where he said that if he was Because the claims are that he was pursuing teenagers 30 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And some of them were 17 and 18, which in a lot of places is the age of consent. So what he said offhandedly was that those situations would be consensual, legally speaking. And then, but there was also a 14-year-old in the mix, so everybody, of course, flipped their fucking shit, because if you talk about it for 2 hours, you know, the one thing you say, of course, is going to be what people find. So,
well, now it's not just hitting on young girls. Now there's a charge of sexual assault.
oh my, that's not good. Thank you, Mash. No one cares about Keurig and Hannity. Talk about Blair. We'll talk about Blair at YouTube time.
We'll get to Blair. Don't worry. MASH is usually not around for YouTube time, so I mean, we can save it for YouTube time if you want, but that is still also a valid news story as well.
Well, we can talk whatever you want to do. I don't care. It's just
let's get Roy Moore out of the way.
Yeah.
An Alabama woman alleges Alabama Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore sexually assaulted her when she was a teenager. Her attorney, Gloria Allred, said Monday. Of course, it's Gloria. Allred said her client, Beverly Young Nelson, would be willing to testify under oath and called on the Senate Judiciary Committee to hold a hearing and subpoena Moore. Mr. Moore attacked me when I was a child, Nelson said, adding that she was 15 when he began flirting with her and 16 at the time of the alleged assault.
Mm-hmm.
I want Mr. Moore to know that he no longer has any power over me. The allegation of...
Hey, I'm sorry. It's just, was this another 40-year-old one where it was like 40 years ago he did this, or is this a more recent one?
No, this would be an old one, because this woman looks like she's been rode hard and put up wet. She's old as fuck. The allegations of force, if true, would be considered sexual abuse in the first degree, but the statute of limitations in effect at the time would have passed. Later Monday, Moore called the allegations absolutely false. Nelson detailed her allegations in a statement alongside Allred, an attorney who focuses on discrimination and women's rights, and often a load of utter bullshit. Nelson said Moore was a regular at the Old Hickory House, a restaurant she worked at when she was starting high school. At the press conference with Allred, Nelson said Moore wrote an inscription in her yearbook one day in December 1977 that said, "To a sweeter, more beautiful girl, I could not say Merry Christmas." She said he signed it Roy Moore, D.A. Well, how old was he at the time? Why was he signing your yearbook?
I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Isn't that kind of creepy?
Thank you, Dark Shade. Why do blondes have TGIF on their shoes? Toes go in first. That's funny.
Nice.
I like that one. More jokes. I like jokes. Please.
She said that one evening he offered her a ride home instead of taking her home. Nelson said Moore pulled his car behind the restaurant and began to attack her. Mr. Moore reached over and began groping me and putting his hands on my breast, Nelson said.
That's rude, if that happened.
He began squeezing my neck, attempting to force my head onto his crotch. I continued to struggle. I thought he was going to rape me. At some point, he gave up, and then he looked at me. He said, "You're just a child." And he said, "I am the district attorney of Etowah County, and if you tell anyone about this, no one will ever believe you." Yeah, I can't do that anymore. Well, be true, but that's comic book villain talk. Why is the district attorney signing your yearbook? That's what I want to know.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's weird about it, and here's the thing with him: he's actually denying it.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know what to think. And the only reason why I bring that up is because a lot of these guys have been like, "Yeah, I'm a fucking weirdo," and I'm like, if you say you're a weirdo, then I guess you're a weirdo. But he hasn't said it, so I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, the other thing is that these claims are, 40 years old? So
yeah,
what can even happen to him at this point? Nothing legally, I don't think.
No,
I
nothing
mean, even if
legally.
it did, you would have no way to prove it.
Well, there's another story because these are both on CNN. Another one says that Roy Moore came out and said he didn't know this woman.
What?
So, I mean, know this woman.
He didn't know her? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it got a little robot-y. Um, okay, well, yeah, the whole thing is just, it's weird, and I mean, we'll see what happens, I guess. There's not much investigating you can do at this point. You know? Like, that's just the issue, is that there's no way. Okay, so he said, Skep Tock says he says he does not remember going out with 14-year-olds, but if he did, he asked their mothers. Okay, well, he shouldn't have said that shit. If we're,
What do you mean he asked their mothers? Can I date your
I don't
14-year-old
know.
daughter? I mean, this is Alabama, so I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. It's just, the whole thing is just fucking weird. And like I said, I don't know what to think. Because with all of these allegations, it's like a lot of them are probably true. Some of them might just be, piggybacking off of the true ones, and some of them might be completely false. We have no real way of knowing unless, of course, the perp is just, like in the case of Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, now Louis C.K., unless the guys are just like, yeah, well, I'm a disgusting fuck. Okay, if you're a disgusting fuck, then I guess you're a disgusting piece of shit. But, I mean, aside from that, or like, footage, given to like the cops or something, like, we have no way to confirm any of this. Any of these allegations. I guess that's the problem.
Apparently, there's new blood pressure guidelines that say nearly half of Americans now have high blood pressure based on these new guidelines.
Uh-oh.
Beautiful. We didn't have enough health problems with our overeating. Tens of millions more Americans now have high blood pressure. Almost half of all Americans, 46%, are now considered to be in the high blood pressure category based on new guidelines released Monday. Blood pressure should be treated at 130/80 rather than 140/90, according to the new parameters set forth by the American Heart Association, the American Heart of Cardiology, and 9 other health professional organizations. Yeah, okay. I'll comment here in a minute. Practicing physicians and the public are going to be a little shocked or taken aback by a diagnosis of stage 1 hypertension with a blood pressure of 130/80, which historically has been considered normal, well-controlled blood pressure, said Dr. William White, a professor of cardiology at the University of Connecticut School of Medicine. Well, yeah, when you completely change what's normal, why? Yeah, people are going to be shocked by that. You know what bothers me about this is that I can't help but think that there's some pharmaceutical company behind it.
No, same with that, because like, I don't know, because my blood pressure tends to be around like 110, 108 over like 80, 75, something like that.
Mm.
Which is in like within the same 10-point range as what they're calling high blood pressure now, because regular blood pressure is considered to be 120/80. And so that's also within 10, but nobody's trying to treat me for low blood pressure.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't blame. That was actually my first thought. I was like, what kind of drugs are they trying to sell to fix it? I don't know.
Well, according to the article, it says, although all patients will be counseled about lifestyle changes such as exercise, only a small fraction will be prescribed medication.
Yeah, but a small
Fuck you.
fraction of
You're
like
so
a
full of
whole
shit.
bunch of people who are now high blood, really, that's going to be enough. Hi, Pat, and Scribelight is stuck in a storm, so he might be dropping in later, he might not, but for right now, it's the SDA and Spunky shit show. Welcome to the Lords in the Night. Woo!
Yeah, and Yeah, sorry. I want to see how the number of medications, people on medication for high blood pressure changes because of this.
Of course it's going to. I mean, so it means what? That now like 50% of Americans have high blood pressure?
46%, yes.
Okay, well, that's millions and millions of people. And even if you up that percentage just a little bit, that's still millions and millions of people. And even if only a small percentage of those new millions of people now go on medication, that's still a fuck ton of money for pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, I'm just not buying that this is all because of actual medical science.
No, I'm skeptical of it too. Was that your first thought as well? Like, who's
Yeah, my
making
first thought
money off
was,
that?
yep, yep, yep. Um,
Do you want me to see if we can get Satsu on? Because that'd be fun.
sure, if you want to.
Yeah, I'll message him.
I'm just looking for stories that sound interesting. I don't even remember which ones I had up before. Sorry, guys. That's the only part of my medication that works is the part that messes with my memory.
It's okay. Do you want to go ahead and talk about Blair, or do you want to wait and see if Sassy wants to come on first?
Oh, we can talk about Blair in a minute. Let me read this other one. Nationalist protesters disrupt Poland Independence Day events. Did you see this shit?
I haven't seen any of this stuff. I've been so off the internet recently.
Tens of thousands of nationalist protesters disrupted Poland's Independence Day events Saturday, waving flags and burning flares as they marched down the streets of Warsaw. Demonstrators wore masks and waved red and white Polish flags, chanting, "Death to enemies of the homeland and Catholic Poland not secular." Police estimated that 60,000 people took part in the nationalist demonstration. While the vast majority were Poles, I love that they're called Poles.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's funny too.
It kind of sounds like a slang for a dick. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Or like a slang for something that like should be like kind of like a WAP.
I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know.
While the vast majority were Poles, other protesters came from all over Europe. That's a weird thing for people outside of Poland to come march for Poland being left alone. One of the lead organizers behind the nationalist march is the National Radical Camp, which has previously taken to the streets to protest against Muslim immigration, gay rights, the EU, and anything it considers undermines Polish Catholic values. While support for the group remains small, its critics argue that the Polish government, which has struck a nationalistic tone and linked immigrants to crime and disease, has fostered an atmosphere of intolerance and xenophobia that has emboldened it. Okay, look, Poland is uniquely, I give them a pass for wanting to keep people out. The last time they were invaded, it didn't work out real well.
What? No.
Yeah.
Well, maybe like their last invaders just weren't sun resistant enough.
Their last invaders were literally Hitler. So
yeah, but like maybe more sun resistant invaders would be like better, you know?
Could be. I just love this that the government has fostered or has linked immigration to crime and disease. Yeah, if that's what fucking happens. Oh, see,
yeah, mass immigration usually. Yeah, it's usually what happens. Well, because in modern countries, but in first world countries, usually when you immigrate, you have to get all sorts of like shots and stuff like that to make sure that you're not bringing in any diseases that the native population is going to be susceptible to, and that you're not going to get diseases that the native population might give to you. Like all this kind of stuff, you have to go through all this shit to like start integrating into a new population of people, because we have, because we know about all that stuff now.
Look what happened to the Indians, and yes, I mean the woo-woo type. The American Indians. For all the talk of genocide, what killed most of them was disease. It wasn't white people slaughtering them. We brought disease with us. And it's
Well,
diseases.
and it's sorry.
I was gonna say it's diseases they weren't built for it. They weren't dot or feather. Thank you, Skep Tock. That's what I meant.
The feather kind.
Rancing Monkey, I thought the last invader of Poland was literally Stalin. Well, kind of, but you got to give it to Hitler for starting it. I mean, Stalin was just imitating. That was when we were kicking Hitler out. So I don't think that was so much an invasion.
Thank you, Sanguine. Which has linked immigrants to crime and disease. You mean by publishing the stats? Number one, the force. Say it ain't so. They aren't listed as Asian.
Yeah. I do love all this all this immigration stuff where they consider, mentioning the truth to be a negative.
Speaking of that kind of stuff, in my political science class, we had to give like speeches, and one girl was given a speech about immigration and was saying that it was the normal liberal talking points that that terrorism is a result of like immigrants not having good jobs and like facing social ridicule.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they blow themselves up. And it was funny because literally in my other class, we were talking about the fact that terrorists are in fact usually not poor people, and they're usually quite well off and well educated. Like, so we're talking about this in my other class, and like this one girl is just like, they're always poor and like they don't know anything, so they just blow themselves up.
That's not even close to true.
No, yeah, I know, right? And so she also said something along the lines of that having mass immigration doesn't increase the risk of terrorism. Whereas, like I said, in this other class, we were literally just talking about the fact that mass immigration from terrorist-prone countries increases the likelihood of terrorism. So it's just the juxtaposition was interesting. I was just like, that's just...
Yeah, it's funny when you bring in a bunch of terrorists, they start to terrorize.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to MSS News, but before then, let's go ahead and get Blair out of the way, shall we?
Let's go for it.
We did talk about this the other day. Did you see the footage?
I saw the footage. I saw the pictures of her with her nails broken or whatever. And look, I'm sorry. Like, Blair, I feel really bad that her nail got ripped off, but holy shit, those nails were butt ugly. Why? Who hurt you?
Wait,
why did you let somebody do that to your fingers? I'm sorry.
That's your takeaway? She had ugly nails?
Yes. They were like witch fucking crazy shit. It was horrible. I'm not saying like, I'm sorry that she got her nails ripped off, but I'm just saying, they could have done a better job ripping them off, but they might have been doing her a favor. Those nails were ugly.
Yeah, I don't even know how to follow that up.
I'm just like, it's terrible. The blood is not helping because now your nails are uneven, but
Okay, for those of you who don't know what's going on, Blair White went to a anti-Trump rally, I believe it was. Her boyfriend was wearing a MAGA hat. I don't remember if she was or not. I've heard both that she was and she wasn't. But some fat bastard in a pussy hat. And could there be a more appropriate hat for this guy?
Oh, no, there couldn't be.
Snatched the MAGA hat away, and Blair tried grabbing it back, and there was a scuffle where she actually ended up on the ground. And one of her nails got like ripped off, and not in a nice way. I mean, it was
it was bloody as fuck, and that had to hurt like an absolute bitch.
Yeah, Pat, your boy Pat points out, she says she was doing a social experiment, which that's fine, but I really don't encourage doing this stuff, guys, and I'm not saying she deserved it. Nobody deserves to be assaulted, which is what happened here.
No, I'm not saying that she... Okay, real quick, chat about, because one person was like, oh my God. No, I'm not saying she deserved to have her nail ripped off. I'm just saying that she needs to get some, but I hope she didn't pay money for those, is all I'm saying.
Ranting Monkey, how do you rip a nail off in a nice way? Ask the Chinese? I don't know.
Ask the Chinese.
After that, she's on the street talking about what happened, and some other asshole throws a drink in her face and takes off running.
Yeah, that
what I'm trying to say here.
Was she in like the middle of a protest, or was she just?
Yeah, she went to some event.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Oh, that was Dark Ranting Monkey. That's not. I've said much worse things than that. What I'm getting at here, guys, is don't do that kind of stuff. Even like Lauren Southern has started pulling back from going to these kind of events because it's getting scary out there. And again, she didn't deserve what happened. That's horrible. I'm using this as a learning opportunity. Don't do it. And I hope the people that are involved in assaulting her end up arrested and charged to the fullest extent of the law. But be careful putting yourself in horrible situations like that. Because seriously,
I mean,
these fuckers are crazy.
And like, look, if somebody rips off your nail like that, especially if you look at the picture, it's bloody, and that can lead to all sorts of infection. It's going to take months and months and months for her to grow that nail back. It's going to be sore for a long time. It's going to suck for a very long time. And no, of course, she didn't deserve it. And somebody put in the chat, I didn't see who, but she didn't deserve to be raped. But what was she wearing? That's not what Monkey's saying. What Monkey is saying is that, here's the thing. It's not that you deserve it, but it's also that, you know, if you're in a shitty area, let's say, and you leave your brand new phone out on the seat of your car and you leave your car unlocked, I'm not saying you deserve to have it stolen. I'm just saying it's more likely. There are situations where you know where you're provoking people.
Several people have said that she didn't know this was going on, and that may be, but she did make the video. There's part of the video before any of this happens where she says she's going to do a social experiment. She put herself in that situation. Let's not pretend that she did not. Again, she did not deserve what happened to her, but don't pretend that she didn't go into it knowing what was going to happen. Yeah, she's walking down Hollywood Boulevard and runs into this. Okay, fine. Walk around. Take the damn hat off.
Yeah, Weibo said play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I mean, that's the thing too. Like, this is okay. Let's put it this way. If I start bitching at Jessica Valenti or Christy Winters and I start saying crazy shit to them, I know how they're going to react. Now, if they try to dox me or something like that, which both of them have a history of doing, that's not my fault at all. I don't deserve to be doxxed because I fucked with them. But you also know the risks when you fuck with them initially. You like the quacking is not appropriate. Anyway.
It's always bye. Welcome, Scribbles.
Hi, Scribe.
Yeah, so I had no power and no internet. So that was fun.
You had no internet without power? I'm shocked.
You're shocked? Well, that was funny. So, news?
We're talking about Blair White right now. I don't know if you've caught any of it.
You're doing YouTube drama first? Okay.
Well, MASH wanted us to talk about it, and MASH always has to leave before we get to drama time or YouTube time.
Okay. So. All right. Legit.
But yeah, like Monkey is saying, you know, there are some situations where you know when you're going to provoke the situation, and I don't think that she didn't know that that was going to happen. I mean, why else would you film it? You know that some crazy shit's going to go down.
Are you saying she was asking for it?
No, that is not. God damn you, Scribe.
No, I'm asking SDA because that's what it sounds like she's saying.
Well, she's supporting what I was saying before you came in.
Oh, I don't know what you said before I came in.
I was about to tell you. To me, this would be like somebody wearing a Confederate flag shirt and walking through Compton. You know you're going to get, there's shit's going to happen. And what I think, I don't think Blair thought she would actually be assaulted. Mm-hmm. I think she thought she would get some great footage of people just being assholes and shouting.
Sure.
But my point is, I'm just warning people, don't put yourself in that situation. Bad shit can happen, and it's not worth it. It's not worth a fucking viral video.
Right, and I think that she was after a viral video. Like you said, I don't think that she thought that she was going to get assaulted, but I think she knew that she was going to be ruffling some feathers, as we keep saying. It doesn't mean you deserve to have your nail brutally ripped off and a drink thrown in your face. Of course you don't. And it's just, you know, if you don't want those things to happen, don't be there. That's the best way to defend yourself against, again, that's the best form of self-defense, is just not to be there. And this is a situation that could have been avoided. But
so
I'm
do
just
you
saying.
think that she's, after a fashion, glad that shit went down for the sake of hits and exposure?
I can't speak for her. And
Well,
I'm not
I
going to.
mean, I don't mark Blair as a dumb person, and so knowing she was going into a situation that, you know, obviously she's not asking for something horrible to happen to her, but when you go into a situation like that, you are increasing your risk of such happening. And
Right.
she was filming it, she was live streaming it, if I remember correctly, right?
I don't remember live streaming. She was filming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's filming it. So I don't know how much attention has she gotten. Has she said anything about any of it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's the concern here, I guess, is the question. I wasn't here for the beginning of this. So what's the?
No, I was just pointing out. I think what happened to her is horrible, and I don't think there's any excuse for what happened to her.
No.
But I just think the political climate has gotten so bad. We've seen so many videos of people getting their asses beat for being Trump supporters.
Yeah.
If you can avoid it, I would avoid going places where, you know, those kind of people are going to be.
Sure.
And people keep saying she didn't know this protest was going on. That's fine. But when she ran into it, she stopped and said, we're going to run a social experiment. She didn't go, oh, maybe I should walk around this, or, you know what, these might be some crazy fuckers who should probably take off the MAGA hats. Right. No, she went, let's get some footage. So please stop telling me she didn't know it was there. I get that. But she still went into it willingly.
Yeah, and when she, you know, and like you said, and like people are saying in chat, she knew that something was probably going to happen. She thought it was probably going to be limited to people shouting things at her, and obviously it wasn't. I'm just saying, and Monkey's just saying, the best way to avoid that kind of stuff, to avoid having your nail brutally ripped off and possible infection and months of discomfort, is to go around it or to just take the hat off. That's the best way to avoid that kind of violence with people that you know are going to be violent.
Yeah.
There's a part of this video where she's actually on the ground and this fat fucker standing over her.
Uh-huh.
Would it have been worth it to get this? Yeah, and dangerous as hell. Would it have been worth it if this guy had stepped on her face? I mean, we have seen, like, at the Berkeley thing, they were literally trying to kill Milo. Is that worth it for a little bit of fucking footage?
Well, okay. So are we giving her the benefit of the doubt and just like she made a poor choice?
Yeah, I would say.
Okay. Then what's the hubbub, bub?
What do you mean? What's the hubbub? Oh, there's just people who are arguing, saying it's victim blaming. It's not, and I'm not blaming
you weren't
her.
here for the whole thing, Scribe.
That's why I'm trying to catch up, for God's sakes.
Yeah, no, I'm not blaming her for what happened, but she did put herself in that situation.
Yes.
And this is a similar thing we talk about when we talk about warning women against rape. Rape is usually the only crime where you're not allowed to say, hey, you might want to take preventative measures, because if you do that, well, then you're blaming the victim. No, what we're saying is, look, this bad shit happened. Maybe you should do the best you can not to put yourself in a horrible situation.
All right, let me address these chats real quick. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you, Spencer the Frostback. Wearing the slogan of the democratically elected president gets you attacked. What a fucking time to be alive. And yes, it does in some places, in certain situations, with some really fucked up people who should be in prison. Yes, it does, which is why I'm saying that if you like having all of your bodily fluids inside of you, maybe, you know, keep yourself out of that situation. It's just safer. You're less likely to, you know, it's less likely to result in bodily harm if you're not in harm's way to begin with, obviously. And thank you, Snubberth. Monkey, she did the experiment before the protest. She started the video during the day in the gay part of town.
Okay.
So in that case,
if you guys think it's worth it to get your ass beat to wear a hat, go for it. You have my blessing.
Doesn't mean you deserve it, but
I hope it works out for you.
well, if she's wearing it through the gay part of town, then obviously you're trying to get footage and you're trying to get a reaction out of people. That's the point of doing a social experiment. It's also surrendering to them.
I recommend leaving your door open at night. Leave your engine running when you get out of your car. All kinds of stuff. You should not have to worry about safety at all, ever.
It's not a good thing that you have to worry about it, but you do have to worry about it. Like, I'm sorry.
Fucking moo.
Tailed, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Tailed.
What hats do scribes women wear, says the Jack Cochran. They don't wear hats. They wear blindfolds. Dun, dun, dun.
So Snubber says, I'm not disagreeing with you, Spunky, but it seems you're not getting the full scenario.
And Ben Master says, yeah, exactly. It was Blair's risk to take, and she took it. To give her shit because she took the risk to get the footage is not the same as putting yourself in a bad situation. It's exactly the same. She put herself in a bad situation to get the footage. It's not like she did it because she was changing society. She got that nail ripped off for a video. And she did not deserve what happened. And that's 100%. These guys it was criminal what happened to her.
And hopefully the footage got enough of their faces so that they can actually be arrested, because that's what should happen to somebody who assaults somebody else.
That's the other part.
The law.
In the footage, there are cops right there with this fat bastard, and they didn't do anything.
Well, I hope those cops get arrested as well, because they should be doing something. I mean, because from what I understand, Blair's pretty short anyway. Even if Blair hadn't transitioned, like, that would be a small person underneath a really fat piece of shit.
Yeah, that dude was fat as fuck. And yeah, those cops should be ashamed of themselves. They should have arrested that motherfucker right there on the spot. There should have been footage of him getting arrested. Okay, they want us to move on. Fine. What else do we have? Oh, we were moving on to MSS News.
Wait, did you already do the news?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I covered. I was here. I
don't know.
You didn't realize
I don't know.
Live for like 30 minutes.
I don't know what happens when I'm
missed,
not here, guys. I don't know.
I'm telling you. Calm down.
So I was asking.
We covered Roy Moore, who has a new allegation against him.
Yeah.
We covered I'm trying to remember what we covered. We're in trouble, guys. Fuck. Blood pressure is now a different setting for normal. Meaning that 50% of men, I think it was 38% of women, a total of 46% of the country now qualifies as having high blood pressure. We both found that suspect and think there's probably a pharmaceutical company behind it, but we'll see.
All right.
This did come from.
I'm sorry.
And other than that, we moved on to Blair so we could get that out of the way.
Can I address this real quick?
What part?
So it's okay when SJW shut down talks by conservatives because avoid violence. No, that's not what anybody's saying.
But if you run into their protests that they're having with your little MAGA hat, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that just for your own safety. I mean, you can.
Yeah, I mean, when you're having a talk on a campus that is unrelated to them and they're not invited or something like that, and they antagonize you, then there's nothing you can do about that. But there are ways to prevent yourself from getting the shit beat out of you.
Or at least lower your risk. And again, if you want to do risky stuff, more power to you.
But there are risks. Kind of like there are risks, to go and getting blackout drunk. Or anything, driving over the speed limit, whatever. There are risks involved with everything. And if you go into a protest with a bunch of fucking disgusting mouth breathers wearing a MAGA hat, you're probably going to get, at the very least, yelled at.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
You can go on MSS News.
Let's see. We're going over MSS News. Guys, if you want us to take a look at articles and consider talking about them, hit us up at hashtag MSS News on Twitter. We can't get to them all. We would do our best. And let's see what we have today. Okay, let's see. First off, we have... Oh, that's not good. Killer robot alert. This comes from the Jack Cochran. Killer robot alert. Video shows AI carry out mass murder without human orders. For real? This is a website called the Daily Star. I don't know how.
Real quick. Thank you, Sanguine. The difference is with the shutting down talks, you are shutting them down so you don't do violence. But in the other, it is so it doesn't happen to you. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, pretty much all we're saying is that, you know, there are ways to not get yourself beat up. There are ways to lower the risks, okay? It's not saying that violence is okay or that we should be happy with the fact that people are trying to kill Milo to get him to go away. That's not what anybody's saying. But anyway, go ahead, Monkey.
Okay, gruesome footage put together by AI experts shows small drones descending on a classroom and killing pupils by blowing up their heads. Jesus. The film, to be shown at the United Nations today, stresses the danger of autonomous weapons that pick and destroy targets without instruction. It comes amid the advancements in AI weapons deployed by nations at war. AI scientist Stuart Russell will present the film today at the United Nations Convention on Conventional Weapons, hosted by a campaign to stop killer robots. Fuck me, is this a movie? Russell told The Guardian, the technology illustrated in the film is simply an integration of existing capabilities. It is not science fiction. In fact, it is easier to achieve than self-driving cars, which require far higher standards of performance. And it is being suggested that killer tech that makes its own decisions before killing will by its own accord will be... Oh, dear fuck. Let me try that sentence again. And it is being suggested that killer tech that makes its own decisions before killing by its own accord will be possible to design in the near future. Why would you design that? Why would you design a robot that can kill without any orders to do so?
Because you like, I don't know, because bad ideas, I guess. It seems like a terrible idea. It seems like when you're making something that should kill, killing without orders is like the last thing you should make it do, but nobody asked me, so.
Let's see. This one comes to us also from the Jack Cochran from a site that, oh God. Do you have me on the route, Jack? You have me
Probably
on the route.
It is for Jack Cochran.
You bastard. We'll do that later. He snuck that one in on me. You still with us, Scribe?
Yep, I'm right here.
Okay.
What do you say? One more and then we'll jump into YouTube time.
Sure, we can do that.
Okay.
This one comes to us from Colleen Bernier. Hitting the classics tonight. Transracial man, born white, says he feels Filipino.
Why does it say born white? Like, I don't know. That's just like there's nothing you can do about your race. You're stuck with it. So, I mean, yeah, born white.
Florida man.
Okay, well, I guess
should not surprise you. Tampa, Florida.
It's different.
Jadu, born a white male named Adam, now considers himself Filipino.
Well, if he moves to the Philippines and becomes a citizen, he can be Filipino without any problems.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to change his name, does he? Well, hang on. He even drives what he calls a tuk-tuk, an Asian, I think I'm saying that correctly, or tuk-tuk, however, an Asian-derived vehicle used for public transport Philippines. Jadu Jadu
I'm
is
glad
part of a
he's taking it
growing.
seriously. Jesus Christ.
Jadu is part of a growing number of people who call themselves transracial. The term once referred only to someone or a couple of one race adopting a child of another. But now it's becoming associated with someone born of one race who identifies with another. Jadu says he grew up enjoying Filipino food, events, and the overall culture.
Real quick, thank you, Terry Diamante. Sounds like a Rachel Dolezal Mark II. I hope he knows how to speak Spanish if he's really serious about it.
Whenever I'm around the music, around the food, I feel like I'm in my own skin, he said. I'd watch the History Channel sometimes for hours. Nothing else intrigued me more, but things about Filipino culture.
The fucking History Channel turned you Filipino? It's like, I don't know. It's like watching RuPaul's Drag Race turned me gay, Mom. Fuck my life. All right.
Scrolling down a little bit, it says a psychologist weighs in. Tampa-based psychologist Stacey Schreckener said she had not encountered a client wanting to change their race. She has, however, worked with clients who otherwise desire different physical features. Feels that they aren't at home with a certain, or that they are at home with a certain religion, a certain race, a certain culture. I think that if that's who they really feel inside, life is about finding out who you are. The more knowledge you have of yourself, the happier you can be.
That's like saying Popeye's chicken made me black, SDA. Well, do you guys think that Popeye's chicken could make you black? What do we think? Chat, debate.
No real black people eat KFC. Fight me, Pat. Go ahead.
No, and yes, it's true, like Scribe is saying in chat, that they do speak Spanish in the Philippines.
It was one of the official languages of the country up until 1987 or something like that.
And it's still predominant. It's still predominant in the Philippines as well.
One of the videos I did, it was one of those Race in America things from Snarled, and the lady talking was her family originated in the Philippines, and she was complaining about how a guy was trying to hit on her based on what she looked like by using different forms of saying hello in different languages. And one of the languages he used was Spanish after she told him she was from the Philippines. And she complained like, that's not Filipino. And I was just like, fuck you.
I know we can move on to YouTube stuff here in a minute, but I do have to ask you guys, real quick, you have 2 super chats. Let's get that up.
Thank you, Sanguine. History turns people transracial. Damn, does Discovery turn you otherkin? Trump's infinite escalator. No, that would be Animal Planet. Get it right, Sanguine. Thank you, Chaos Eve. Love your makeup tonight, SDA. Looking good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
What do you guys think of transracial?
I think what he means is transcultural more than anything. And I understand enjoying other aspects of another culture or being fascinated by it or wanting to know more about it. Curiosity is a human trait that we all share for the most part. So I get it, but I think it's fucking stupid.
Scribbles?
Transracial.
Yeah.
Well, it's as legit a pursuit as any other trans whatever. And you have another super chat.
Thank you, magnificent bastard. Wearing Ugg boots made me bogan. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Insult me in Australian all you want. Okay, I'm gonna wear my Uggs. Leave me alone.
I don't understand it, obviously, because race does not define culture or anything else. And then, of course, the question becomes, well, what do you have to do to qualify, if there's any qualifications to be had? Like when it comes down to being transgender, what's the minimum you have to do to say that you are with any officialdom? Just put on a wig or shave your head? For transracial, you just have to get a really good tan or not? I don't know. I don't
thank you, Timothy Sealback. There is only one race, human.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think it has more to do, in this case, with the cultural aspects than the other one. Sorry, Monkey, go ahead.
I agree with what you said, SDA. I understand appreciating the culture and liking it, and even in immersing yourself in it. But you're a white dude. You're not Filipino.
No,
Period.
absolutely. You are absolutely Filipino. I mean, but like the same thing happens when people come here. People come here because they want to be a part of the American culture. People, immigrate from here to parts of Europe because they want to live a more European lifestyle. That's why people go places that they go, because they want to be enriched in the culture. We have all sorts of people who are very obsessed with Japanese culture. We call them autistic, and they watch anime and they learn Japanese, and good for them. And they want to be immersed in the culture. It doesn't make you racially Japanese. That being said, you can move to Japan and become Japanese all you want. I mean, I think, like I said, I think a lot of it has more to do with culture. And as somebody who doesn't give a fuck about cultural appropriation, I don't care what you do with aspects from another culture. I don't give a shit, but you're not a Filipino person.
Yeah, you're a white dude. So, YouTube time?
Yeah.
Are you going to assign things, or you want me to do it?
You can do it.
STA, what'd you do today?
Well, I've upset chat with my anime comment. You guys, I love you guys.
People take their anime so seriously.
I know. Look, here's the thing. I wear Uggs. I love pumpkin spice frappuccinos, and I saw Frozen 7 times in theaters. I like crazy things too. It's okay. Calm down. I like different crazy things and better crazy things, but I'm with you on the weird liking things scale. I didn't do anything today. I've been pretty MIA over the weekend, as you guys probably know. I have been streaming Overwatch on his YouTube channel, and I know that he is streaming Battlefront 2 tonight at midnight. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a couple videos this week though, and get back into that. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I got.
Scribbles, what'd you do?
Yesterday, I used my day off to make a video on feminism, something I haven't touched on in quite a while. I came across a lady who was defining for us what the word means and the history of the word, and kind of making the same kind of arguments we've heard before, but it was really weird because she apparently, this is one episode of a series she does called The Dirty Word, where and the undertitle being Where Sex and Language Get It On. And you have a super chat.
Yeah, thank you, your boy Pat. Oh God, SDA on my anime, monkey on my chicken. Oh, it's on.
And she was talking about how feminism as a word is vilified and everything else. And I'm kind of like, well, it's not the word; it's the stuff behind it. And as I was chopping through the video and scripting at the same time, so I was watching the video for the first time as I was writing the script. And in the beginning, I thought, okay, at some point she's got to mention egalitarianism, because one of the first things she says is one of the controversies is associating this word with equality for everybody. So why is it just feminism? And I was like, yes, that is a good question. So you're going to talk about this, right? Never in like the 7-minute video ever does she use the word egalitarianism. She argues or states that some people think they should just change the word feminism to equalism or something. I'm like, this is a show about vocabulary, and you're not talking about the word that already covers this, really? And then she uses words in the wrong way in the course. It was kind of like while reading a CNN article at some points.
Nice.
And but I was just kind of taken aback because she seems really nice, and I went back to the original video afterwards, and some of the people that had seen my video went and took some of my points there, and she responded to them very politely and very, upbeat and everything else. And I just don't get it. I mean, I was thinking about this on the way home from work today. I was like, a lot of the people I do videos on, they're intelligent, they're articulate, they have, whether I think that their credentials have any weight or not, they're educated people, and yet I don't get how they are so cloistered in their ability to think outside of the the ideology that they're in, or the mode that they're in? Can they not take a step back and say, maybe there's a different way of looking at this? And anyway, so it was, I hadn't done a video on feminism in a while, and just reminded me that, you know, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
I think there's some validity to the fact that feminism, you're right, it's the actions behind it that have caused it, but it is kind of a dirty word in that I hate how the feminists play that joke. I'm going to talk about the dirty F word.
Yeah.
Fuck you. There's your dirty F word. Fuck you. But it does, because of third wave feminism, have negative connotations because it seems to make people retarded. Which brings me to my video, Booger Girl. I do want to say
that was a hot mess, like you said. That was a hot fucking mess. That was beautiful, though. I'm so glad you found that. That like made my day.
And the truth of the matter is that was not the video I was planning on making. The next video I'm going to make is the one I planned on making. It's where she talks about the criticism she got for saying never trust any men, or I forget her exact wording, but basically don't trust any men ever because we're all bad. And then I got to her main video and was like, oh my God. Now I want to address one thing that has been mentioned in the comments over and over again about her booger picking. Now in my video, I only showed her pick at it one time and then scratch it another time. That is not the only time this woman touches her nose in her videos. And it's not just on the side she has the
piercing
nose ring in.
Yeah.
This woman digs in her nose constantly on her videos. I mean, constantly. It is fucking weird.
Can you imagine watching that footage back and going, yeah,
that's okay. Sure.
This is the thing.
Anyway, so the video itself, she sent out a Snapchat saying, this is your daily reminder never to trust men, or some stupid shit like that. And she talks about it on this video because she got some immediate hate back on, I can't remember if it was Instagram she said she sent it out on, or what social media platform. But she got some immediate hate, and she wanted to just, you know, tell us, yeah, all men suck. And then she goes on to give us Raquel Savage. This is somebody she looks up to and thinks is really smart when it comes to this stuff. And if you haven't checked out Raquel Savage, I highly recommend doing it, because she is a nasty hoe. And she's also, I'm getting a little bit of echo.
Oh. Okay, that should fix it.
Okay, let's see. Your boy Pat says, and she has 22,000 subs, and I can see why. It must be because she's cute. No, she actually has 200,000 subscribers. The video I responded to is on her second channel. On her main channel, she has over 200,000.
But she can't string a coherent sentence together.
No, she can't. But
Aww. I think
anyway,
we're doing our channels wrong.
Yeah, I know I am. I need titties.
I'll let you borrow mine.
Well, see, I would show them off. I would work those titties.
Well, that's, I mean, like, if they're on you, I can live with that.
But anyway, she goes on to talk about what she heard Raquel Savage say about how even if a man and a woman come into sex equally, they both just want to have some sex, and neither one of them wants anything else, that the man somehow is still in the wrong because the man is always going to see it as a conquest. Maybe. And my first thought at this was, and I did mention in the video, is would you prefer a man to see you as a conquest, as a challenge, or just some hole he happened to fall into? Which of those would actually make you feel better about yourself?
Yeah.
And
if you are an accomplishment, imagine if a guy looked at you as an accomplishment, not as an object, but as, you know, a mark of pride. Now, you can take that several different ways, and depending on how arrogant the guy is, sure. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're put on a pedestal. You're put as a goal. again, it all depends on the context, but you're not meaningless.
Well, that's the part that really, as I was listening to it, I'm like, do you even hear what you're saying here? You're complaining that guys see you as something to attain, rather than, you know, everybody gets a turn, which I'm not judging, but I did think that was kind of weird. Booger Girl and Raquel, strap a board on your ass so you don't fall in. If you guys haven't seen Raquel, seriously, go to Twitter, look up Raquel Savage, and just read through her tweets. By the way, she has a nice big ass and some big titties that you'll get to see quite often. But yeah, that was my video. It was about her and just the rambling. And one thing she does is she seems to just talk, hoping something smart will fall out. And it doesn't happen. She just keeps rambling and rambling. And then at the end of the part where I cut it, she actually says that men need to do something productive. And she's just been talking about how you react after a one-night stand. So it comes off as they're saying after a one-night stand, men should do something productive. And
you tore right into that, and it was funny.
Oh my! It hurt my brain watching that shit because I like that makes no fucking sense. You're just saying words right now. But anyway, that's what I did.
I thought your video was very good. I'm glad to see you back making videos, Mr. Videos.
Yeah, I was supposed to do that. I was supposed to make a video yesterday, and I started several times, and I just wasn't feeling it. There's another subject I want to cover, but I'll do it at a later date. I also did go on a stream with...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, just real quick. I went on a stream with Irate Bear yesterday. He's got a GoFundMe right now. I'll track down the link and throw it in the chat if you don't mind.
Yeah, actually track down the link and send it to me and I'll throw it in the description.
Cool. Okay. Well, yeah, that's all I had. What were you about to say?
Oh, I was just going to say that, so it seems like, from what I can gather from the jumbled mess that was the word vomit coming out of her face, was that she's worried about having sex with a guy who doesn't give a shit about her. Or something like that. Or like a guy who just wants the sex and then wants to leave. A really good way to avoid that, for the most part, is, you know, to be careful about who you sleep with. Maybe be a little bit more selective. That's all.
She makes the comment.
Close your damn legs, if that's what you're worried about.
She talks about how the nicest guy, or the nicest person you'll ever find, is a guy who's trying to sleep with you. I don't necessarily believe that's true.
In some cases is probably true.
Yeah, it's just not always true.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, it's different for everybody. Everybody's different. Real quick, thank you, Dark Shade, Miss Talons, Picknose. Oh God, that was a lot. Well, sorry, go ahead.
She goes on to talk about in that right after that about how a guy's nice to her, so she trusts them and gives it up. And what she actually says, fucks them. So you trust them and fuck them. I just can't get over, and I made jokes about this in the video, but it being like, you know, somebody telling her she has pretty eyes, so she just melts.
Yeah, I do remember you saying that now.
I don't understand.
Well,
I don't want to be
that easy to get into bed. No wonder people are taking advantage of you. I'm just saying, keep your legs closed for like a week longer. Just a week longer. See how it goes. All I'm saying. Like, if that's what you're worried about, if something about your behavior is not working, change your fucking behavior.
And if it doesn't go with what else she's talking about, with like the one night stand stuff, the guy who sees you as the accomplishment, even though you guys were on the same level. If you want to have casual sex, have casual sex. Don't bitch about it not turning into a great relationship, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, she seems like the type of person who wants to be able to have casual sex, but is not emotionally set up for it, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think she's emotionally set up. I don't think she's emotionally set up for Sesame Street, to be honest with you. No, well, probably not, which is why she probably shouldn't be having casual sex. But like I said, if you want to avoid all that, just close your legs, honey. It's okay. You don't have to fuck everything. It's fine.
Yeah, she's getting enough penetration in her nasal cavity.
Speaking of
well played.
Deep topic?
I have one from yesterday, if you guys don't, because there was an article off of our friends at the Washington Post that the title alone is just mind-boggling.
Have at it.
All right, let me. Oh, sorry, the New York Times, not the Washington Post. So maybe it's even legitter. This is a opinion piece from someone named Ekhau N. Yanka, if I'm saying that correctly. And the headline is, "Can my children be friends with white people?" Question mark.
Oh, this. I saw the headline. I haven't read it, so I'm interested to hear this one.
My oldest son, wrestling with a 4-year-old's happy struggles, is trying to clarify how many people can be his best friend. Quote, "My best friends are you and mama and my brother and ... But even and that's the end of the quote. But even a child's joy is not immune to this ominous political period. This summer's images of violence in Charlottesville, Virginia prompted an array of questions. Quote, some people hate others because they are different, unquote. I offer lamely. A childish but distinct panic enters his voice. But I'm not different. It is impossible to convey the mixture of heartbreak and fear I feel for him. Donald Trump's election has made it clear that I will teach my boys the lesson generations old, one that I, for the most part, nearly escaped. I will teach them to be cautious. I will teach them suspicion, and I will teach them distrust.
You're a hell of a dad.
That is a choice you are making, oh father, oh father. Much sooner than I thought I would, I will have to discuss with my boys whether they can truly be friends with white people. Meaningful friendship is not just a feeling. It is not simply being able to share a beer. Real friendship is impossible without the ability to trust others, without knowing that your well-being is important to them. And obviously, if they have white skin, then you have to be suspicious of their care for you because they're white.
Because they're white.
Not based on who they are, based on what they are. Thanks, Dad. The desire to create, maintain, or wield power over others destroys the possibility of friendship. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's famous dream of black and white children. What,
No, I was making a sarcastic remark.
Yeah. And it's interesting that he brings up Martin Luther King here, given what he's advocating for. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous dream of black and white children holding hands was a dream precisely because he realized that in Alabama, conditions of dominance made real friendship between white and black people impossible.
That is not even close to what. Oh, you fucking
horseshit. Horseshit.
On that note, real quick, thank you, Sanguine. So the author chose to fuck MLK's dream to death because it drubbed down. Oh my god. Monkey, help. You're a little less dyslexic than me.
Are you serious? Hey, did you hear me reading earlier?
Scribe, help.
So the author chose to fuck MLK's dream to death because it being drubbed down isn't enough, it seems. Afro-taint. Well,
yeah.
To say that Martin Luther King called it his I have a dream speech because he thought it was just a fantasy is bullshit.
Yeah, that's total bullshit.
That it's not a dream in the sense that it is impossible and ephemeral. It is a dream of something that can happen if people choose to set aside their prejudices, which you, O author of this article, are decidedly not. History has provided little reason for people of color to trust white people in this way. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, signed into law by a white president, motherfucker.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The Civil War, motherfucker. Okay. How many people have gotten their asses kicked or killed on behalf of civil rights for everyone, and not just people with a different skin color, for everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. And these recent months have put in the starkest relief the contempt with which the country measures the value of racial minorities. Elected a black guy twice to the presidency. We don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. Okay? It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. It didn't matter until about like 10, 15 years ago when everybody decided to go all fucking discriminatory again.
Mm-hmm.
America.
I just want to interrupt you here.
Yep.
I cannot tell you how much I'm enjoying you going off like that, because usually it's me doing it over this subject. And you're right. When the political correctness came around and suddenly we all had to fucking look at nothing but color, it ruined everything. That is what killed King's dream. King wasn't out there saying, oh, this is something that I don't think could ever fucking happen. He was going, this is what we need to do. And these fucking assholes have fucking ruined it so that they can, I'm just glad I'm not the only person that gets this upset by it. That's all I wanted to say.
I just did a couple of videos back. It was a Black Lives Matter thing, and it was from, when I watched it, I thought it was recent, but it was from 2 years back, and I didn't realize that till near the end of it. And it just really gets to me how taking such obvious steps backwards in time, and everybody just sort of like, I mean, is it that they don't recall what the principle we're supposed to be striving for is? Is it that they're just doing it only for the possibilities of getting a career out of being outraged? The root isn't just a race bait, clickbait, profiting off of people's, profiting off of people's distrust, profiting off, and not just distrust over like someone's political motivations or something else, but something that no one has any control over and has nothing to do with who they are.
Yeah, as we discussed when talking about the Filipino guy, you're white, ain't jack shit you can do about it.
No, not even that. I'm just talking about trying to place value on someone else's place in society, their thoughts, their dreams, whatever else, on something that is as relevant to anything about who they are as their eye color.
Exactly.
And it drives me nuts. And this guy is promoting this shit, and he's also completely, hamstringing what Martin Luther King's dream was. He's completely redefined it as to be irrelevant.
Thank you, Dark Shade. The modern day racists are the anti-racists. The KKK and Hitler would be proud. Well, at this point, I mean,
well, they really are. Look at this article. This is a man saying that he's going to teach his children to be distrustful of others because of the color of their fucking skin. And he had no problem. Not only did he have no problem writing this and submitting this, the New York Times, right?
Yes.
The fucking New York Times printed it.
Well, it's an opinion piece, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with the New York Times printing it. I mean, someone stating their opinion, even if it's something I disagree with.
Do you think the New York Times would have printed this if it had been a white guy saying this about blacks?
Well, that's Probably what not. I was just going to say. I mean, like, can you imagine if I made a video saying, well, as a nice little southern girl from Georgia, I'm going to teach my kids that they should definitely not trust the black people because the black people do the crimes.
Well, it's similar to something that the lady said in the video a couple back I did. She said that she was, and I think I'm quoting it correctly, she said she was obligated to racialize her daughter to understand her place in the movement.
Yeah.
And in the video I say, now, I really wish our speaker would take a step back and imagine a man in a white hood standing on a stage saying that he's going to racialize his son to understand his place in the movement and let me know why I shouldn't be just as fearful of the outcome of that notion from her lips as his. It just boggles the mind.
Jacob Jett says, I'm convinced SJWs have grown to hate MLK. It's not that it's not just that they hate MLK. They don't. They still revere the man in certain ways. But if you go back to oh God, a couple months back. I wish I could remember exactly when, but I think SDA and I both did videos on this. We had Cat Black and Marina Shut Up both doing videos about what MLK said and how white people are taking it out of context. And then they go on to take his words and literally shit all over them. There's nothing about what he was saying that they seem to even understand. and this is part of, you know, talking about, a lot of people talk about, you know, how we have Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton and these guys make their money off of keeping racism alive. That's absolutely true. But there's a whole lot of people who buy into this shit who have no monetary value or no monetary gain from it. It does nothing for them except sow seeds of distrust, as this man is trying to do with his kids on purpose. I think it's I think it's just a mass brainwashing of stupidity, and it all started with fucking political correctness. I apologize. Go ahead.
That's right. Okay, so continuing on, I guess. America is transfixed on the opioid epidemic among white Americans who often get hooked after being overprescribed painkillers, while studies you won't quote, show that doctors underprescribe pain medication for African Americans. Oh, so doctors want African Americans to suffer. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I'll just take that on face value. But when Black lives were struck by addiction, we cordoned off minority communities with the police and threw away an entire generation of Black and Hispanic men.
So the war on drugs is what they're criticizing.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of valid criticisms of the war on drugs. And
yes.
I think that perhaps the response to the opioid epidemic being different is because a lot of people acknowledge that there were a lot of issues with the war on drugs.
Well, that reminds me. I forget where it was. I saw an article where in one of the states that had legalized marijuana, someone had made a speech saying, you know, now, and it was, I believe it was a Black activist, and they said something to the effect of, now white people can profit off of the thing that has put so many Black men into prison. And I remember this was on Facebook, and I said, well, what would you want to have happen? To criminalize it again? What are you asking for? Things in the past were bad, now they're different, and they won't be the way that they were in the past when they were bad, so now you're upset that they changed? What? That's what this reminds me of. It's like, okay, so we're treating the war on drugs differently now than we did in the past because, like SDA said, maybe we see the failings of our previous notions, and now you're upset. Okay, I mean,
you can't win.
Yeah, you can't win. It's like, okay, well, you did something awful, and the side effects were it ended up affecting one or certain demographics more than others. Okay, we'll change the strategy. Oh, well, now you're just letting white people off. What? Okay. Likewise,
yeah, because only white people can sell pot in those states.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and especially with this kind of stuff, I mean, the mistakes of the war on drugs has cost the taxpayers a fuck ton of money. It's cost people, years of their lives unnecessarily, some would argue. And I think learning from our past mistakes is absolutely important so that we don't repeat them.
Yes,
and why is that?
We have to learn from our past mistakes on the backs of minorities, apparently, is all that it is ever.
Yeah.
Right, because there's nothing that we've learned from that has affected. Like, this is the problem with breaking things down racially, and I think Monkey and I sort of talked about this when we were talking about suicide and stuff like that last week or so, where breaking it down by race or by sex doesn't really help you solve the core of the issue, because the core of the issue is what happened to the people who were on drugs, right? Not what happened to certain colors of people.
Oh, yeah. Boy. Okay, this just keeps getting better.
Real quick, thank you, Zinith, for stopping in. Hope to see you soon. Bye.
Okay, well, if I suddenly don't get a headache, ow, that hurts. I hope I'm not having an aneurysm or something. Likewise, despite centuries of exclusion and robust evidence of continuing racism, Minority underemployment is often couched in the language of bad choices and personal responsibility. And so none of those things have any effect. Okay. When systemic, okay, let me try that again. When systemic joblessness strikes swaths of white America.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay. When systemic joblessness strikes swaths of white America, we get an entire presidential campaign centered on globalization's impact on the white working class. Even the nerve of some rich or visible African Americans to protest that America, in its laws and in its police, has rarely been just to all, has been met with the howls of a president who cannot tolerate that the lucky and the uppity do not stay in their place.
Okay. Do you want to do your super chat real quick?
Yes, I do. But excuse you. Okay. Thank you, Dark Shade. Nobody's perfect. Wait.
He says, "Pull buddy snurfect." He switched the letters. There you go. Go ahead.
I get it. Okay, sorry. It's like the back assword thing, right?
Yes.
Very good.
There we go. I'm learning. Unless you're white, then your mistakes will be dredged up from time and time again. Did I say thank you, Dark Shade? I don't know if I said that. Thank you, Mag Bastard. It's empire building. Make everyone self-segregate on identity, and then the activists become the ruling class because they're the ones indoctrinating them.
Okay, I want to address the point that he made there about Trump. I don't remember a single Trump speech where he was talking about how globalization has hurt the United States, how we've had all of these horrible trade deals, and how it only affects fucking white people. Did he ever break it down that way?
I don't believe so, but maybe I'm just crazy, which is definitely possible. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh boy.
Anyhow,
as against our gauzy national hopes, that is
Do they mean like gaudy?
No, G-A-U-Z-Y, gauzy.
Okay, well, the Z and the D are
I'm
next
reading
to
it as
each
it's
other,
written.
so maybe.
As against our gauzy national hopes, I will teach my boys to have profound doubts that friendship with white people is possible. When they ask, I will teach my sons that their beautiful hue, H-U-E, is a fault line. Spare me platitudes of how we are all the same inside. I first have to keep my boys safe, and so I will teach them before the world shows them this particular brand of rending, violent, often fatal betrayal.
Real quick, gauze, resembling gauze, thin and translucent.
So you're going to teach your sons to be racist.
Yep.
Yes.
You're going to teach your sons to look at people on the basis of their skin color and fear them, distrust them, and believe that they are out to get them. Tell me, sir, if you were a white man in the South in the 50s telling your sons to distrust black people because they cannot be trusted, they just want to hurt you, and gosh, you know, they're just a plague on the planet, how are you any different, and how are you at all contributing towards the improvement of race relations in this country? I honestly would love to know if I'm really starting to wonder as I read this, can this person be real? Is this some kind of Poe? Because this just sounds so blatantly, I mean, how can anybody be this lacking in self-awareness?
Well, it's because racism is not racism anymore. Remember, it's privilege plus power. So if you say absolutely ridiculously racist shit and you're not a white person, well, then you can get away with it because it's not really racism.
Oh boy. Okay.
And I'm not being facetious here. That's
No,
what a lot of people really believe.
Okay.
It's fucking moronic, but it's what they think.
There's a little bit more to this, but let me get through a couple more paragraphs at least, because I don't know how much more I can read without just losing my shit here. Let me assure you that my heartbreak dwarfs my anger, I'm sure. I grew up in a classic Midwestern college town with all its American faults. That's American faults. It was a diverse and happy childhood kind of place, slightly dull in the way that parents wish for their children. If race showed in class lines, school cliques, and being pulled over more often, our little Americana lacked the deep racial tension and mistrust that seems so hard to escape now. You know why it's hard to escape? Because people like you are putting it forward and perpetuating it in the next generation. Can you not see that? Can you not see that? Again, I'm really hoping this is a fake person. I really hope. What's surprising is that I am heartbroken at all. It is only for African Americans who grew up in such a place that watching Mr. Trump is so disorienting. For many weary minorities, the ridiculous thing was thinking friendship was possible in the first place. It hurts only if you believed friendship could bridge the racial gorge. Obviously, it can't.
Oh my God.
Obviously, it can't, sir. Obviously, it can't.
Do you remember a couple months back, we did a story, we covered a story about a guy, a black man who goes and talks to members of the Klan and
Yes.
talks them out of being racist by being a friend to them. And this guy, oh God, the guy who wrote this is such a prick.
Of course, the rise of this president has broken bonds on all sides. But for people of color, the stakes are different. Imagining we can now be friends across this political line is asking us to ignore our safety and that of our children, to abandon personal regard and self-worth. Only white people can cordon off Mr. Trump's political meaning, ignore the unpleasantness from a position of safety. His election and the year that has followed have fixed the awful thought in my mind too familiar to Black Americans. Quote, "You can't trust these people," unquote. It is not Mr. Trump himself who has done this. Were it not for our reverence for money, Mr. Trump would be easily recognized as the simple-minded, vulgar, bigoted blowhard he is. It is certainly not the neo-Nazis marching on Charlottesville. We have seen their type before. Rather, what has truly broken my heart are the ranks of Mr. Trump's many allies and apologists. Mr. Trump's supporters are practiced at purposeful blindness. That his political life started with denying, without evidence, that Barack Obama is American, that this black man could truly be the legitimate president, is simply ignored. So too is his history of housing discrimination, his casual conflation of Muslims with terrorists, his reducing Mexican Americans to murderers and rapists. All along, his allies have watched racial pornography, describing Black America as pathological. Yet they deny that there is any malice whatsoever in his words and actions, and they dismiss any attempt to recognize the danger of his wide-ranging animus as political correctness. So you're going to hold all white people to account for your dislike of Donald Trump.
Yes.
How are you, sir, any different than Donald Trump taking some limited stories about certain people and making broad generalizations about demographics? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. You're doing the same fucking thing.
What is it Trump has done to black people? Because he didn't just mention his election. He said over the last year. What? I'm sorry. We have some black people in the chat there. Could you guys tell me what rights you guys have lost since Trump has been president? I'm very curious. Frankly, Barack Obama did more to destroy race relations than Trump ever could, in my opinion. And I've mentioned this many times before. I don't know that I can't say he did it on purpose. I can't say that he did it with any kind of malice. But as soon as people started saying that all criticism of him was racist, he should have stood up and said no. And he didn't. He let that shit ride out. He should have said, I mean, when the exact same criticism that was used against Hillary Clinton was used against Barack Obama, and people said, oh, this is racist, that is what should have had him stand up and go, no, this isn't racist. This is people disagreeing with me on policy. He could still say, you know what? I think they're wrong. I think they're stupid for that. I still think I'm in the right. But to let the racism hang out there and let the charge of racism hang out there without ever addressing it, without ever calling bullshit, That is what set us back so far. That is why we are where we are today. That's why we have the rise of Black Lives Matter. It's why we have people like this guy who have no problem writing a fucking letter putting it out into the universe that he's going to tell his kids not to like white people. Sorry, you can still like them a little bit. You just can't trust them.
There's a bit more to go. I could finish it in about 5 minutes if I just didn't stop to rant, but it is the bottom of the hour and it is chat time, so it's up to you, STD.
We can go ahead and go on to chat time. Sorry, okay. Monkey?
Can we at least get the concluding paragraph?
Yeah. I'll put the link in the chat, but let me go down to his conclusion here. Let's see. I'll do the last 3 paragraphs that pretty much comes up with the conclusion.
Cool.
Barack Obama's farewell address encouraged us to reach across partisan lines, but there is a difference between disagreeing over taxes and negotiating one's place in America, the bodies of your children, your humanity. Our racial wound has undone love and families, and ignoring the depths of the gash, great word, will not cause it to heal. We can still all pretend we are friends. If meaningful civic friendship is impossible, we can make do with the mere civility, sharing drinks and watching the game. Indeed, even in Donald Trump's America, I have not given up on being friends with all white people. My bi-ethnic wife, my most trusted friend, understands she is seen as a white woman even though her brother and father are not. Among my dearest friends, the wedding party and children's grandparents vary. Many are white. But these are the friends who have marched in protest, rushed to airports to protest the president's travel ban, people who have shared the risks required by strength and decency. All right, last paragraph. There is hope, though. Implicitly, without meaning to, Mr. Trump asks us if this is the best we can do. It falls to us to do better. We cannot agree on our politics, but we can declare that we stand beside one another against cheap attack and devaluation. I'll hold my tongue for a second. That we live together and not simply beside one another. In the coming years, when my boys ask again their questions about who can be their best friend, I pray for a more hopeful answer. Ekau N. Yanka is a professor at the Benjamin N. Cardozo School of Law at Yeshiva University. Okay, so the only good white people are those that you know for a fact have agreed with you. Okay, yes. Good. I'm glad to know that we have a good no true Scotsman argument going on here.
Now, this is this doesn't have anything to do with the reality of what he was writing there, but did he really say that his wife is seen as a white woman, but her dad and brother are not?
Well, I guess she just didn't get the dark. She's not a darkie.
No. Listen,
my bi-ethnic wife, my most trusted friend, understands she is seen as a white woman, even though her brother and father are not.
So her brother and father are not seen as women.
Oh my God, you're right. You're right. Monkey, you're a genius. Cheetos or Doritos? That is a very important question that was asked by
Doritos.
Nacho cheese Doritos.
Yes, original. My youngest son loves Cool Ranch, which I'm okay with, but nacho
Your youngest
Doritos
son
are the
is
best.
wrong.
Sometimes
I used to love Cool Ranch. I don't have it that much anymore.
They don't taste like ranch.
It's just like right now, I think I'd rather have Cheetos, but like it probably oscillates like throughout my life. Like if you were to ask me in like 5 years, I don't know where I'd be on the Cheetos or Doritos debate.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Cheetos are only good in puff form. Cheeto puffs are good as well.
Cheesy poofs. Love me some cheesy poofs. Did you guys ever see that they actually made cheesy poof?
Yeah.
Cheesy poofs. I bought a bag. I was so happy. I know that's meaningless, but yeah, they tasted just like every other puffed cheese chip.
Thank you, Bear with Evan, who is, you guys most probably know him as Bearing Cab. Joined the stream on She's Not a Darkie. Well, you know what? That's what he's saying. He's saying that she's not dark enough to be not white. So, you know, he shouldn't have said it. He said it, not me. SDA, how many fidget spinners do you own? Precisely 0. But honestly, I have Rubik's Cubes that look like this. And I think that's worse than owning fidget spinners. I'm not going to lie. It's on the autistic spectrum, like, for sure. Monkey
I proudly own 3. 1 that lights up. Thank you.
and Scribe.
What? I own 0 fidget spinners.
Yeah, that's right, Evan. SDA didn't do nothing.
SDA, did you have your hair dyed?
I did have my hair dyed. My hairdresser has been trying to talk me into some ombre stuff for a while, and I was like, why the frickety frack not? So we did it, and I like it. I'm glad you guys like it too. You guys have to look at me. SDA is autism confirmed. I mean, look, with the amount of Rubik's Cubes I have, probably. Do you have any puzzle shapes or just the cubes? What are puzzle shapes?
Faith is abdication of reason says, talking about the article, boys, you can't trust mommy. She's half white.
Mm-hmm.
You can only halfway trust her. You just have to get confirmation from her dad. Her word is only half as good as daddy's.
Uh-oh.
There ought to be a law. Oh, wait.
Your boy Pat says, some dumb American. Ranting muskie versus your boy Pat. Who's your money on?
Oh, in a fight? Or like, how are you pitting me against? I mean, like, I'll answer. I just want to know what the context is.
Debate. Let's start with debate.
Well, not you. You're not the one.
No, I'm just saying there's only 2 ways this can go. Either it's a physical fight or it's an intellectual one. So first, is it
or it's like, debate? Would you rather have Ranting Monkey or your boy Pat clean your gutters? Which one? I don't know. In that case, I'm gonna go Pat. Like, I mean, there's so many different ways this could go.
Wait. Do you honestly think he was asking about gutter cleaning?
I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Spheres or pyramids? I do have a Pyraminx. I hate Pyraminx puzzles.
Getting your gutters cleaned is not a euphemism I'd heard before, but now thank you, SDA.
It's not a euphemism. I mean,
yeah, sure. No. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it is not a euphemism. I believe
you are a disgusting human being. Monkey has a wife, you gross piece of garbage. Anyway, I do have.
Wait.
What's that got to do with anything?
Liam Neeson is
married.
Me
specifically.
Liam Neeson is married, and you've touched yourself to him. So
didn't Liam Neeson get married
That's
again?
Different. He's a celebrity. He's famous.
I'm a celebrity.
I didn't know Liam Neeson got married again.
You fucking weird. It'd be weird as fuck, dude. Can I answer the questions? I also have a Megamorphix, which is sort of pyramid shaped, but it's a 4x4 shape mod. Yeah. And I do have a Megaminx ball, but it's still a Megaminx, so it's like just a smoothed out dodecahedron instead of like an actual spherical puzzle.
Liam Neeson's single, by the way.
He is now.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. Well, his wife died. I mean, she died in like a skiing accident like a few years ago.
Oh.
So.
Well, it was a while ago, so I don't have to feel bad about it.
Yeah,
like
2009. Yeah, it was Natasha Richardson. Back in 2009, she had an accident skiing, and she didn't. I think she hit a tree or something and didn't regain consciousness.
Oh my God!
For that tree, ouch! Ouch.
Weebo, thank you for bringing that up. She said, I tried to start drama with Scribe and Monkey last night as revenge for their baby hot dog thing. I don't think it worked that well. Okay, 2 things. 1, we didn't do anything wrong in the baby hot dog thing. You stepped in that on your own.
Yeah.
Scribe just pointed it out to you while we were laughing.
I just want to let you know what it was you said you were doing with the hot dog. It's like, I don't have to stuff myself to get anything with the hot dogs. And like, because you got your own there? What are you doing?
Let's bring the chat up to speed here. What we were talking about, we went to Weebo's stream, and I asked her if when she wears her diapers, she puts hot dogs in it. Now, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you might have missed the story. Grand Monkey is potty training and took her first real poo, and she looks between her legs and goes, "Oh, a hot dog of poop." So I was asking her if she stuffed it with hot dog as in poop, and she starts going off about how she doesn't have to stuff stuff. Hers is all real. So it makes it sound like she shit herself.
Yeah. And so I'm just sitting there going like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
That's like meatloaf style. Oh.
Well,
yes,
yeah,
is.
but here's the thing. The funny thing is that it was kind of quasi in response to my calling her a baby earlier on our stream. And then she says, I don't have to stuff, whatever, because it's all natural. And I'm like,
Yes.
So wait, it's like I had to go on the stream and I said, just so you know, here's the story. So when you're saying all that stuff, you're shitting your diapers, is what you're saying, basically. And she's like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, just so you know. Just so you know.
You guys are mean.
We didn't do it.
She didn't do anything. She had a meatloaf moment of saying something she did not know the context of, walking right into it. And I mean, it's not like we kept it a secret. We talked about it on the stream the night before. It wasn't some inside joke. It wasn't some obscure inside joke on Twitter. It's like this was public. So anyway.
And Weibo liked that tweet, for the record.
Yeah, that was the funniest part.
Before this came up.
Before it came up, he's like, oh well, she saw it, so it's like, okay.
You know
SDA, we should get vengeance. I mean, like, I agree, but this is still funny. But then again, you've laughed at the meatloaf thing, so I guess we're even, and we can still get vengeance. That works.
Can I just say I love the fact that meatloaf moment is the thing?
Yeah, a meatloaf moment. Yes.
I hope like 10 years from now, after like all of chat has like reproduced and it has like a bunch of kids, that all their kids are saying meatloaf moment when like
awesome.
Something crazy like that happens. And I just hope that it spreads throughout the world and that like by the time I die, a meatloaf moment will be a thing.
Well,
One can only
already
hope.
is.
One can only hope. Yeah.
Okay, do we have any other questions, guys? We haven't had
No.
many questions tonight, or the ones we have had, we skipped over. There's one right there.
Corn
Corn
dogs.
dogs and
monkey.
cheese dogs. Chili dogs.
I like. It depends on how they're prepared. I've had bad corn dogs and bad cheese dogs, so I'm kind of.
I like both.
I'm Switzerland on it. It all depends on how they're prepared. Scribe, but for real, what did you think of my revenge? Yeah, so Weibo sent me a couple of videos of like very disturbing things, like a guy French kissing an apple and some naked guy playing his guitar. And these are all on
the same
YouTube.
guy.
Oh, it's the same guy. Yeah, the same. Yeah, right, same guy. And I saw these at work early this morning because I was sitting there. I had no idea what they were. She just sent me the links, and I'm like, okay. And I started watching, like, what the fuck am I watching? And after seeing, I only watched like the first 10, 15 seconds of each to get a gist of what I was going to be looking at. And then I tweeted her back. I said, there's something seriously wrong with you. Did you eat paint chips as a kid?
Nice.
And yeah, so your revenge was, I mean, it made me uncomfortable for a moment, but I wasn't shitting my pants.
Fair point. You sent me those videos too. That was supposed to be revenge. Because my immediate thought was, ooh, I need to make a video on this guy because he's a hardcore vegan, and he sings these vegan songs too. And he's got one called "I Can Make You Go Vegan," I think it is, where he gets pretty sexual about veganism. It's really weird, but he also does these songs with these old people, and one of them is don't use animal names as insults. Like, don't call a fat chick a cow because we need to respect cows, and don't call anybody a pig because we need to. Yeah, I mean, and he's perfectly serious about this shit, and it is so fucking cringy. It's funny as shit. Actually, H3H3 responded to him like 6 or 8 months ago, something like that.
SDA, how can I do my makeup as good as yours? I don't know, primer.
Nothing for you here. What is your favorite crazy conspiracy? I like those the photographs or film footage from like decades and decades ago that supposedly show someone from the modern day, and they call them time travelers.
I like that too.
I always like those.
Thank you, Solid Snake.
Solid.
What did you just say?
Solid Snake.
Do you want me to read that for you? I know that's a hard thing to say. Solid Snake. There you go.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you know what my favorite, you know what my new favorite crazy conspiracy theory is? That SDA passed first grade literacy, for God's sake. Jesus.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Do you want me to read this for you?
No, I can't. I got this. I mixed myself, white/black. That article is ridiculous. I never had any problems growing up. Obama made being mixed race the most taboo thing since the 50s.
What were we talking about before that?
Crazy conspiracy theories. Mine was the time travelers.
Thank you.
My favorite.
I'm sorry I messed up here.
My favorite is the Egyptian pyramids and stuff being part of a alien kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the ancient aliens.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Chariots of the gods.
There's actually some really neat stuff there, like the alignment of the Great Pyramid of Gaza and Giza, sorry. And
Gaza's the Palestinians.
Yeah. Leave me alone. You couldn't say solid. You don't get to say anything.
You're right. You know what? That is completely fair. It's completely fair. I agree.
There's a question right there. What was that? Stargazer Nuts. By the way, that's all I'm calling you from now on. I know it's not supposed to be. But Stargazer Nuts says, is this the dude that thinks he's sexy as hell, Ranting Monkey? Yes, he is. And it's so fucking creepy.
Stargazer Nuts. Why can't I find that?
It's right above the super chat.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Your boy Pat says, going to watch Justice League? I'm not. No. I'll wait for video.
I'll wait for the review. I'm more excited to hear the reviews of it than I am to see it.
Have you guys seen Thor yet?
Yes, I saw Thor on Friday.
I fucking loved it. It was so good.
It was fun. It wasn't the best Marvel movie. It was the best Thor movie for sure.
It was my favorite. I think it's my favorite Marvel movie.
It just got on the edge of almost, not quite, but almost being too silly for its own good in a couple of spots. But it was pretty good. There are some things I would have done differently, but it's all right. It
was so good. I loved it. I had so much fun with it.
For the record,
I want to go see it again.
We both threw the guy into chat the link to his channel or to one of the videos. Check out his channel, guys. Check out the newest stuff because it's fucking bad.
Star Saver says, Scribelight, what's the best Vampire the Masquerade clan? The best? Well, if you're talking about min-maxing and just being a murder machine, you want City Gangrel, the bloodline for the Sabbat, because celerity and obfuscate is a thing. If you're just talking about thematically, I still like the Giovanni probably overall.
What else we got here, guys? If we've missed your question, please throw it back in there.
SDA has gone full Valley. Oh, sorry.
Good God.
SDA has gone full Valley Girl. Yeah, probably a little bit.
Yeah, maybe some bastard kind of hits. The Guardians of the Galaxy Ragnarok wasn't that bad. Yeah, it did remind me a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy. And don't get me wrong, that's really the only direction some of these movies can go with the more ridiculous stuff is to be a bit more lighthearted about it, because Thor's always been a bit too dour and serious when we're talking about, magical kingdoms and lightning hammers and things like that. So them going a little bit more lighthearted in this, and you can't not do that with Jeff Goldblum as one of your villains. But yeah, it was a good movie. It was entertaining. It's not the best. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the other movies, because I think the only way you can have comic book movies now is either you go Guardians of the Galaxy or Logan. I don't know if you can ride the line in between anymore and get away with it. So we'll see.
Kara asked advice on dealing with ear pain. See a doctor. Don't fuck around with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Agree.
Nothing for you here said, did I get bopped for that? I should have. What did you say?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you say?
Korg was adorable. You know what? I'm going to look this too. Korg plushie. I want one.
Oh, the blue rock guy?
Yeah, he's so cute.
Chaos Eve says, Scribelight, I'm supposed to be a Zinith in my next VTM game and reading the lore. Those guys are fucked up, dude. Zinith can be really cool to play, but yeah, if you to do it justice, you really need to read up the The third edition clan book is really good for that. But also, if you can find any of the Dark Ages stuff. Oh, what was that? Transylvania by Night. If you can find any of those books on the old school Zinith
I'll
stuff,
come in a minute.
that's good.
They don't make Korg plushies yet. I'm sad.
Okay, yeah, the Zinith clan book's one of the better ones out of the that printing. Actually, the third ed Malkavian clan book actually completely made me like that clan a hell of a lot better because they did a really good job in fleshing that out.
Jacob Jet says third edition clan book with a K.
No, clan with a C. This are the vampire clans. If you don't know Vampire the Masquerade, I'm just saying, go look it up. It's pretty cool.
Alpha Omega wins the next Baywatch. Baywatch will be starting back up again next weekend. Like I said, I took the whole weekend off from all the real worky streams. The only thing I did was stream Overwatch with Clever Jester.
Weebo Jones says,
yeah.
I am really jittery. Well, that's why babies shouldn't drink coffee.
Can we talk about that baby picture of her on Twitter? That is one of the most awesome things I've ever seen.
My mom showed that to me, and she was like, why would Weebo do this to herself? And I was like, Weebo didn't do that, Mom.
How could she let herself go like that?
Well, she was like, why would she take her own picture and do that? I was like, because she didn't.
That was someone else.
Weebo says, can we not? Weebs, you know we love you. Griffin, Weebo has a baby picture posted. I think Jordan posted it. What's Jordan? Is it Jordan 250?
Jordan 250, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Jordan 250 on.
Oh, sorry.
On Twitter, look him up and scroll till you see the baby picture of Weebo.
My mom follows. I don't know if my mom follows you specifically on Twitter, but she follows a lot of you guys on Twitter.
Oh, actually, Jordan's Twitter handle is Jordan 250, but his actual Twitter address is AXJACS88. AXJACKS 88. And he just posted a new one of Weebo. And that's hilarious.
I can't wait to check it out. Backscan says, have you guys done any Christmas shopping yet? And do you have anyone that's hard to buy for?
No and yes, because I always ask my parents, like, what do you guys want? What do you want for Christmas? And my mom says, oh, I don't need anything. And I say, Mom, it's not about need. Christmas is about want. What do you want? Oh, I don't really, like, oh God. So I just have to guess.
Do you do a good job?
Huh?
Do you do a good job guessing?
Of course I do. I'm her favorite son.
You're her only son.
That's right. So I've got a monopoly.
Technically, that makes you her least favorite son too, though. I'm just throwing
Why
that
are you
out
gonna put it like that?
Well, you could have just said you're her son and left
Shut up!
We've done a very little bit of Christmas shopping, and this will not surprise anybody that it's all for Grand Monkey so far. The hardest person I have to buy for is Lady Monkey because the woman never tells me what she wants. And I always guess badly. The only time that I ever guessed and got a good present for her is we had this picture we took a long time ago when we were at the zoo with the kids, and they have this duck pond out front. And my oldest and youngest are standing. It really looks like it was staged. And I took that and I had it blown up into a really nice picture and put it in a really nice frame for her. She loved that. But otherwise, yeah, I fuck it up every year.
I've been working on some Christmas shopping for Bay and her kids. I still have to Christmas. I haven't. Yeah, I know. I haven't done anything yet. Really.
5-minute warning, guys.
Would you rather be serenaded by Undoomed or rocked by Razor Fist?
Ooh.
What's that dude singing?
Taken by Liam Neeson.
Because he has a special set of skills.
Do you just like gray pubic hair?
No, she wants Liam Neeson to clean her gutters.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
No, I want no.
Get all the leaves out of there.
What was that? What was that SDA?
No,
was that SDA? What?
No. I'm good.
Do you want Liam Neeson to plow your fields?
Gross.
I'm trying to figure out what it is that you're going for there. Somebody asked if I have Discord. I do have Discord. I don't use it very often because I don't. I guess I could, I suppose.
The Jack Cochran says it's the ear and nose hair.
Yeah.
I worked with the guy who actually wasn't that old. He was in his mid 40s, early 50s, maybe. Who looked like he had cotton balls in his ears. And
Oh,
he would
God.
never. It was so horrible.
Oh, yeah. I've seen people who have these long, dark nose hairs growing out, and they just don't seem to know or care. And I'm just like, oh, God, please just find a pair of scissors and just clip those motherfuckers, please. It's awful looking.
Grow a mustache so at least it blends.
Yeah, at least.
Gross. That's gross. Oh, that's gross. That's gross.
Oh, Chaos Eve's talking about werewolves. Yeah, well, werewolves are only OP if you're playing in any other game than Werewolf the Apocalypse. Otherwise, they're pretty much balanced against each other. So, hedge trimmers, faith of okay.
If you could rule any country, what country would you rule?
What country? Oh, flavor country.
Monkey stand.
Monkey stand.
The Bahamas.
Scribe Light, they keep them long to scare off criminals. I hope it works for them because, wow.
Well, what, nose hairs? Yeah, I'm sure it scares. What? No.
Magnificent Pastor says SDA will one day explain to her son, Liam Jr., about her meatloaf moment.
Probably, yes.
And to be fearful of meatloaf people.
I feel like you should try meatloaf. Have you've never tried it, right?
No, I haven't.
The food, if we're talking, yes.
I haven't tried either, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, I can send you. I mean, we can send you links to a couple meatloaf songs. Not the ones that you'd probably be sick of, like "I Would Do Anything for Love," but like.
I know the one from the M&M commercial.
2 out of 3 Ain't Bad is my favorite song.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard it, go listen. I fucking love that.
Let's see. Life in the Rearview Mirror isn't that bad either. And the video's got Robert Patrick in it. You know, T1000.
Does SGA like meatloaf covered in?
She doesn't like mayonnaise.
Oh yeah, Paradise by the Dashboard Light. That's also good.
Oh, you're getting timed out for that. I love you, but God, that was naughty. That was
naughty.
No, why'd you have to do that?
All right, 1 minute to go, guys.
Yeah, no, I think it's about to tick over. So, chat, thank you so much for coming. I'm really happy to be back. I missed you guys. I'm glad everybody's doing well. And we will be on Scribe's channel tomorrow. If you guys want ads from Scribe, you pay $10 and he will write you an ad with a crazy movie plot. They're great. Go bother him because I also love listening to his brain break when Sanguine comes up with his ideas. It's funny. So make sure you guys join us for that. And of course, we'll be on Monkey's channel the following night. So, anyway, Monkey, you want to... I'm bad at this. Finish.
Chad, thank you guys so much for coming. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for always being here and listening to us ramble. You guys are awesome. Best audience on YouTube, bar none. Scribe, SJ, a pleasure as always. Everyone, your life makes me sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.